What's up, YouTube? This is TCG Caster Chronicles, and this is a new channel. I have a few others, but this is gonna be my main one right here. And I don't have the best equipment. I'm recording with the iPod. We'll get into some of the effects that it does. This is for most of the people that have already know about Caster Chronicles, know how to play. I will come out with a how to play Caster Chronicles sometime this Saturday or Sunday. I don't know when, but I will. Let's get right into Magical Dream 7. What's in it? So now I'm gonna start with the spells essentially. Now I did lose. There's supposed to be 2 sexy songs, but I lost the other one, so I'm using Shion to make the deck exactly 50. 2 popularity contest. Popularity contest, basically, I can search my deck for an idol, reveal it, and put it into my hand. And everything in this deck is an idol, so that's very helpful. Although, if it does, the earnest thing it has is very helpful for later. 2 challenge. These are alpha fragment, basically, magical girls that are singers, essentially. That's what I take. That's my take on it. Now, this thing has something called United Front. Basically, what this does, it lets me pay an Ignis Aether cost of this card with Aether of any element produced by an idle caster. And everything in this deck is an idle caster except for Shion. Shion is pretty much just there for fodder right now. But basically, this thing runs on something called Earnest. If there are 7 or more cards with Earnest in my graveyard, this card gains the following ability. This card gains I can target a servant, it gains plus 4,000 attack, and double corrupt. Now let's go on to some of the casters. Alrighty, so let's start with 2 Emmy Shart. Basically, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them in any order, which actually combos really well with Marigold. Because her effect, when you tap it, put the top card of your deck into the allied graveyard, and if it's a band member, draw a card. So, basically, at a band member, draw the card that you wanted to draw from this card's effect. So, very useful. Next up, you have 2 Patzer Aigas. Aiga is literally just buff for your monsters or servants. We have 2 Leaf. Basically, if you've ever played Force of Will, it gives them summoning sickness, meaning they cannot attack on the turn they were summoned. Now, let's go on to Lotta. Pulsar Lotta. You can discard a caster and draw a card. Now, this is helpful because let's say you have 4 Marigold AIs in your hand or something. But if you discard a caster, you draw a card. This is for the duplicates because you cannot have the same name, of course. Then 2 chronicles. There you go. Chronicles, basically, it gives your ally guy hubris, meaning you can attack them directly even if they're reversed. Next, we have 4 level 1 Maria Eyes, or Owl, I don't know. Basically, level 1, draw a card if an idol not named Maria Eye played a non-Aether ability this turn. Then you have 2 Maria Eyes. Banish another Maria Eye. Search your deck for a band with a total cost less than the total amount of Earnest cards in your allied graveyard. Then let's get on with the servants. 4 Haru. Basically, she has United Front, Idle, blah blah blah. There are 3 or more cards with Earnest in the graveyard. Haru gains 1,000 attack, so 1,500 if you have 7 cards in the grave. She is just an early starter to get off early damage in. Then we have 4 Reinas. Basically, she has Break. If you don't know what Break is, if there are 3 or more cards with Earnest in your graveyard, if this card is added to your hand from an orb zone, it gains Break. That is what Break is. It Break lets you, let's say it was like this from your orb zone. Instead of going to your hand, you special summon it right here. Special summon it in reverse or attack or whatever position you want it to go in. That is what Break is. So its other effect is its other effects. If you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, it gains plus 3,000 defense, so it is a defense card for later game. The more you allow this deck to go on, the more powerful it gets, and the tougher it is to deal with. For May. Basically, if there are 7 or more cards with Earnest in the graveyard, this card gains 3,000 attack. So this is the opposite of Reina, essentially. And it also has Break if you have 3 cards in your grave. Now, here comes Asami. For Asami. For Asami. For Asami. There we go. She gains Break if there's 2 Earnest cards in your graveyard. Do not worry, this entire deck is full of everything is Earnest. Even the casters, I believe. Yes, even the casters have Earnest. Next up, we have 4 Tomomoe. Basically, she has Break if there's 5 cards. There needs to be 5 cards in here for her to have her Break. And if there are 7 or more cards with Earnest in an allied graveyard, then what it can do is it can gain control of a servant that your enemy controls if it costs 3 or less, if it came from the orb zone. So next up, we have 4 Known. This is one of my favorite card arts. I love the little joy. It's so playful. It's got the little... I like the hair. I like the piano. This is one of my favorite card arts right here. I just like the way this is like that. It's even... the color's a little all yellow in the background, but I don't mind them being the same color in the background too much, like other people would, but it looks cool to me. It's all the reason it's yellow in the background is to show the color, of course. Because, all right, next up, last 3 cards, 3 Irina. Basically, she gains 3,000 attack and defense, hubris, and double corrupt. And when she enters the field, she gets to target an enemy servant. So this is one of your aces up your sleeve. Sort of. Now, you can still lose, but it's really good at the same time. Now, normally you'll have 2 Sexy Song. Basically, Sexy Song is really good, because if you have 7 Earnest cards in your graveyard, then you get the following ability. Gain control of all enemy servants instead of destroying an enemy servant with a cost 4 or less, which it would do it before it had 7 cards in your graveyard. But yes, basically you seduce the enemy monsters. This deck is basically seduce, or pretty much. So this is Magical Dream 7. Of course, the main. This is actually the front of it, right? This is the front of the deck box, of course. You can see why. Here's the level 2. So, this is Magical Dream 7 box opening in a different order. So, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys later. And if you're ready with the mat,